Hello.
I'm sweating.
We both smell.
Yeah, I smell.
Actually, I put
I'm
on
sorry
right
in
guard
advance.
sport.
You put on what?
Like
I don't. It's cool.
The old man
The
cologne.
yeah. I have only natural in our house. I would go to yours. You had the Old Spice High Endurance or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would use yours because it was like filled with poisons that would block my pores from living.
Right.
And like now, all my deodorants are not poison, and so I smell like a garbage can.
They're too natural to block your BO. But at least you're not killing your pores.
Yeah. All right, well, welcome to Date Night. Date Night with Whit.
Yeah.
That was just the appetizer portion.
Thanks for having me back.
Shall we get into what's going on in our life?
Yeah. I couldn't remember the goal that I set for myself last time. I'm sure I achieved it.
I'm sure you did. You always achieve your goals. So my goal last week was to look at each task on each day individually and that they're not all happening at the same time and I'm only doing one thing at a time.
And this is a cousin to your simplification goal?
Yes.
What did we do?
I would say I would give myself like a C- if I were going to score myself. I just feel like I remember telling myself before certain moments to do that, but then I think that I lost it towards the end of the week.
Yeah, you were having anxiety about party for a long time.
I know.
But
I was having
a
anxiety about
party.
a really silly party. It was a scary party. Thank God Sonny had anxiety, so I didn't have to go to that party, and I just went and picked him up instead.
Well, anyway, we set goals. It's important to set goals.
Yeah.
You don't always have to achieve them.
No, but I do really want to try. I want to.
You are trying. You are.
I am.
You do so many things that would give me anxiety.
I thought about that today as I was driving to my meeting. I was like, oh my God, Timmy would have so much anxiety for this right now.
To like a 60-person corporate meeting. There's things you could do I could never do.
I was definitely nervous, but I knew that I could do it.
You're really good in those situations.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
All right, so you don't remember your goal, so let's just move on.
Fair. What's on your mind?
Something on my mind. You tell me what's on your mind first.
I mean, on my mind is our next fertility move. I know we haven't really talked about that, but on the way here we discussed maybe chatting about it.
Yeah, totally. I have discussed it on the fertility podcast with CCRM. If you haven't checked that out, you should go listen to that. It's called Fertility FM. And each episode we talk about different layers of fertility, whether it's egg freezing or IVF or surrogacy, adoption. Anyway, so as we were going through this and talking to other women trying to conceive and doctors, it was impossible for me not to share my experience because I feel like the whole purpose of what we're doing is to share experience so that people don't feel so alone.
Right.
But we haven't talked about it anywhere.
It had become difficult to keep talking about it and failing, you know what I mean, each time. So it was you kind of lose your nerve or desire to talk about it. But you're right. I think that the more you talk about it, the more helpful it is to other women. On the way here, you were saying most women have to kind of go through this on their own. It sucks. The whole journey sucks. But anyway, maybe we could just explain where we're at.
Yeah. We decided to go down the surrogacy road at the end of last year after just a really long journey of not being able to conceive on our own and just having, so many things go on. So we found an amazing surrogate and we ended up doing 2 transfers with the surrogate. Both transfers ended up miscarrying. The last miscarriage was just a month ago.
And it's worth saying that both were after 7.5 weeks where we were told we had a 97% chance of successful
a successful pregnancy.
Yeah. So to have that back to back, the odds are really crazy. So now we're thinking that there might be something going on either with the surrogate or our embryos.
With the embryos. Yeah. So now we're kind of at this beginning phase again where we still have 3 embryos left, 2 that are tested, 1 that's untested, and we're deciding, do we try a new lab? Do we do another round of egg retrieval to get new embryos? Are maybe all these embryos from the last batch not good? Or do we put in one of the embryos that's already made in the surrogate right now and just get that going while we make a plan to do another egg retrieval? We're not back to square one because we still have 3 embryos and we have an amazing agency that's helping us with the surrogacy journey. And
that's true.
We're definitely not at square one, but
it can feel that way.
It feels that way each time a miscarriage happens.
Yeah. And like all the emailing and the scheduling and like it's like another job and it's like
it's so much. I will say, like, I'm so grateful that you're such a great partner and in this with me, but it makes me so sad for people that may not have someone like you to hold their hand through it.
Because a lot of times, you know, women who want to have a kid who maybe aren't with someone choose this route and they're doing it on their own.
Or they have a partner that they are shielding or they're shielding the work from, or even I do that sometimes, but like it's just there's so much. Yeah. And this wasn't even the thing that was on my mind.
I think that people can easily understand like how sad it is to have it not work out and getting your hopes up and being let down, but like just the administrative work of getting this done is so tedious and it just adds a layer of exhaustion to this thing that you do shield me from, but is another part that people probably don't really know about.
No, it's a lot of work. And so the thing that was on my mind, which I think coincides with this, is like basically how I operate and simplify and like try to maintain some peace and calm while dealing with these other things that are happening. Like that there's nothing that I can do about, but they're just like sitting there kind of like weighing me down, but I still like want to be present going into my meeting. I want to be there for Sonny. I want to like be creative. And I it's like just like sometimes I think that all these things that happen to us inhibit us from then really like showing up in the rest of our
I mean, it makes sense with your simplification goal. I think you are a multifaceted person, as a lot of people are, and like you want to wear a lot of different hats. And unless you're able to kind of put some of them away while you're focusing on the others, like it can get to be a lot. But I like that about you. I like that you are good at a lot of different things and have a lot of different interests.
I like that about myself too, and I want to keep doing those things.
But in like an efficient, healthy way.
In an efficient, healthy way where I'm like being present during them and enjoying them.
What is on your mind?
That was what was on my mind.
It was
basically just like, I feel like sometimes I'm reading too many self-help books because sometimes those things can force you, they get in your head so much. And I'm also in therapy once a week and I'm seeing a nutritionist once a week. So I feel like right now my head is just exploding with like how I operate.
Right.
So what was on my mind was just overwhelmed in my head with just like healing myself while also just trying to be my normal everyday person that you rely on and Sonny relies on. And like, you know, so, and I feel like I almost broke down yesterday, but then you said you were sad. And then I was like, okay, Whitney, hold it together. But I could, like, I'm training myself. It's like, no, this is not the time and place. Timmy needs you right now. You're strong enough. Like what you're dealing with. It's not like it's something that needs to be dealt with right now.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, like sometimes there's so much self-help that it can start like canceling out all the great benefits. I mean, it's all really good and helping you, I think. But eventually you'll learn these lessons and
they just become muscle memory. That's what I want it to be.
I think you're doing great.
Thank you, honey.
All right. Well, do wanted to talk. That's not English.
I do wanted to talk.
Maybe that's a good way to segue into our brain farts for the week.
Brain fart.
Did you have any good ones? Oh, well, let me tell you mine.
Okay.
We were at like a whole class picnic with like all these new parents and like so much awkward small talk. And there's like 10 parents that I barely know standing around like eating pizza and nobody's talking. And I'm trying to fill the air. And I was like, crazy that it's like Sonny and all your kids are going to be the class of 2023. And they were like, you mean 36? And I was like, I gotta go.
Oh my God, the awkward small talk. I also want that to be over with. Like, when does that stop with people? Like, how many times after seeing them do you not have to like have small talk?
I think you can control it. Like, if you just have the attitude of like, I'm comfortable with you enough to not need to know like every activity you did last week, that you won't have to do it.
I don't know. Some moms are addicted to it.
Sonny was playing in the playground outside of kindergarten. I wanted to watch, so I went up to two dads who I didn't really know that well, and I was like, hey, like, you guys mind if I stand here with you? And
my heart just broke.
And they were like, yeah, okay. And they were both like this. And I was like, what are we doing? Just like standing with our arms crossed. Yeah. And like they didn't laugh. And they looked at me. And then one of them like stopped crossing his arms. And I was like, I was just making a joke. Like, you can cross your arms if you want. And they were like, what is the matter with this guy? And then I was like, gotta go. Bye.
Pop culture palate cleanser. Pop culture palate cleanser.
Okay. Did you have nominations?
I didn't have nominations because I went on Daily Mail.
That's where you go for your research?
No, didn't you tell me to go to Daily Mail?
No, I think I said page 6.
Oh, right. I was wondering why it was so much war content. And I was like, this is not the palate cleanser that I'm looking for. Why would Timmy tell me to go to this godforsaken website for juicy gossip?
Timmy, tell me.
But they did report that Mario Umansky was kicked off of Dancing with the Stars.
Like kicked off or voted
eliminated.
off? Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't like
he wasn't like kicked off for
heroin
drugs.
in the dressing room.
No, I wish he were. But I wanted us to talk about Mario and Kyle because did we finish the first episode or did I fall asleep? By the way, the first episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
You fell asleep. I normally turn it off when you fall asleep. Something you like to watch. Considerate.
Very considerate. So do you think it's legit?
Yeah.
You do. You think she's
not into it.
I agree. My sister was thinking that it was fake.
Just for ratings?
Yeah, that they were making the story up for like a storyline because Kyle was about to get kicked off.
But why was Kyle about to get kicked off?
Because maybe she and Lisa Rinna were about to be like it was like out with the olds, like needing new people kind of a thing.
I don't know. Normally I have a pretty good idea when someone is acting, and we did watch the scene where he was like, you can't get any more tattoos. That felt real to me.
It felt really real to me too.
Yeah. I mean, I was distracted by his teeth.
What was up with his teeth? I didn't even notice.
I think he just has new
veneers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's distracting for me.
Yeah, that's often an odd choice for people.
Can't they just make them a little smaller and less white?
Yeah, a little bit more natural looking. It's like it's 2023.
Like, can we get it perfect?
Yeah.
I thought it felt real, but I don't know. And I'm, they're going to give us some insight on this season, so I'll be watching.
I know it looks like it's going to be juicy.
And I reserve the right to make a judgment until the end.
You don't want to speculate at all.
I'll do some speculating. I'll speculate
right
now.
Speculating is fun. But your speculation is that it's real, so that's not really that juicy. What is your pop culture palate cleanser?
I had a few nominees. I researched page 6.
Yeah, right.
And so a lot was Matthew Perry, and that is sad.
Very sad.
I was a big Friends guy, Chandler guy, sarcastic.
Yeah.
We're very similar. I didn't know a ton about his personal life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't know anything really.
No, I don't either.
Oh, you were just like, I didn't know.
But I researched
and then you were about to read and
well,
tell me.
I mean, I guess he wasn't like one of those celebrities that had a lot of relationships or he was in the news for drugs, obviously. And I guess that took up a lot of his personal life. But it seems like he was an amazing guy and was really helpful in recovery for other people, even though he struggled with his own demons.
Poor guy.
Yeah, sad.
I want to go watch Friends marathon.
I don't know. Do you? You feel like that?
A little bit.
That's one way of dealing with the grief. Yeah.
On another pop culture palate cleanser, did anybody see Kim Kardashian's Skims bra with the built-in nipples?
Nipple, yeah. Also, that Matthew Perry one wasn't like a palate cleanser. You know what I mean? That was heavy too.
Yeah, that was really
Sorry.
Okay. I thought maybe that was just one of your nominations and then you were going to give us something.
It was.
Oh, great.
But the skim nipple, that's good too.
Okay, yeah, that was funny. And then everyone was asking Jennifer Aniston if that's what she wore when she was filming Friends.
She was like, I had a time machine. What the f*** are you talking about, people?
No, well, people always thought that, not that she was wearing a fake bra, but that she put little
things in to make it look like her nipples
were always hard. Anyways, I wouldn't buy that bra. Sorry, Kim. I love you, and I not everything you do, but mostly a lot that you do. And I don't think I need my nipples to be hard all the time.
Do women want that? Do women feel uncomfortable when that's going on? Do women think of hugging as a 4-way nipple high five? These are questions I actually need you to answer right now.
I don't care if my nipples, oh my God, I can't even say nipples are hard. I can't even. But I don't need them to be perky like that because I just feel like then you're asking for people to be staring at your boobs. So if you like that, if you want that, then that's probably your vibe. Yeah.
But for you, it's not your cup of tea.
Not my thing.
Fair enough. Britney and Justin. Britney Spears, who you might remember from being a giant.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Yeah. And you know any other ones?
Because I taste on your lips, I want to ride.
Nice.
You're toxic, I'm sipping on the...
You know what is my favorite Britney Spears song? I think Stronger.
Stronger. than yesterday.
Now it's nothing but a mile away. My loneliness ain't killing me no more. No more. Your favorite too.
Hi.
Anyway, she came out with a book saying that she had to have an abortion with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
And Justin Timberlake got a lot of backlash for it. And I'm not a big JT fan, but I imagine it was a mutual decision.
I hope so. I didn't read that.
I guess we should research. It's not my main one. It's just a nominee. So
it's just a nominee.
Research it yourself and then tell me what you think.
Actually, one of the articles that came up for me was Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel enjoy a relaxing vacation away from Whitney in Cabo. And it was like as if they were hanging out with Whitney in LA. Like, what
No, never. Well, I hope they're having a relaxing vacation.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a full one. They were just all nominees. But did you know that Michael Jordan's son is like dating and about to marry Larsa Pippen, Scottie Pippen's ex-wife? And Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were teammates.
They're getting married? Her
Wait,
son's
I don't know
best
if they
friend
are.
Or something, right?
We should do a little research because if we're putting out there, we should know what we're talking about. Yeah, he wants Michael Jordan to be his best man when he eventually marries Larsa Pippen.
Wow.
So I don't know what that means.
That is definitely
that's a spicy
strange.
Triangle. That's a spicy triangle.
Wow.
But again, I think we've learned a valuable lesson here. We should dig a little deeper.
Not just be the rumor mill.
Yeah, so we're like, bringing people some actual info.
I don't think that they're coming to us for the facts.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. This is where Hollywood happens.
They just actually, I think it's more fun for
to
us
hear
to
us
just read the headlines and then just pretend like we know what's going on.
So let's do that. And let's also spread a bunch of rumors. And as long as we just come out and say we don't know, you can just have fun with the fake rumors we start. I'm pretty sure that Scottie Pippen wants to beat up Michael Jordan and his son at the same time.
Did you just make that up?
Yes, babe. Yeah, that's the thing we're doing.
What's next, boo? I just called you.
Yeah, that was a real risk. We didn't talk about Sonny. Do you even want to talk about Sonny? Because if we were on a date, we would probably talk about him. Did you have anything?
Yes, I did have
too.
something. I am thinking he's watching too much TV on days off.
And
I know that will require us to like step in more.
Right.
But
you think he's a little addicted to the TV?
A little bit too much on the days off. And I do like our chill time and I think it's valuable and I don't subscribe to like kids with needing a certain amount of screen time or like cutting it off or whatever. Like I think each day is different based on what's happening, but I think a little bit less.
That would be a good topic maybe to bring in
a specialist,
an expert on screen time. Because I think we both feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, that if we were to be like those type of people who either like said no TV or we're like, you only get 3 hours and we're like on the clock, I think it adds a level of stress to the household that both of us would rather avoid than the negative parts of the TV.
Yeah.
But I would like to know from an expert or a few experts, because I'm sure there's some out there who are like, no screen time. There's some who are like, don't be a nerd.
I think like an expert that I
let's just pretend there's an expert here. Yeah.
Would say.
Yeah. Pretend you're an expert.
Who needs people? Okay?
Yeah, right?
Who needs anybody else? I think what they would say is 2 hours max a day.
Right, but I don't want to be on the clock.
I know, I don't want to either, but that's what I would say that they would say around that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just watch more than 2 hours a day on the weekdays for sure.
On the weekdays, not at all. On the weekends. Yeah. Oh, we'll figure it out.
I mean, my thing was his eating. Recently, we sort of took a more laissez-faire approach to everything eating. Like, I used to be really like, you got to try one bite. Like, we wouldn't force him to finish his plate. We're not that old-fashioned, but I was like, you got to try it. But just to finish the general explanation of what we've been doing is like letting him eat whatever he wants, really. And like, even if that means he wants a cookie at 5 o'clock before dinner, like we're giving it to him. The other day was Halloween and we were at the park and he was like eating his candy and I got fruit from the fruit stand and he put his candy down and he was like, I want that. Like in doing this, he learned that eating a bunch of sugar is not dope.
Yes. He knows that now.
Yeah. And I'd like it. I'd like it because it's a lot of pressure lifted off of
you.
us.
I know. Sometimes I think the food thing, it's such an individual journey and we need to give them the independence to own their choices because this is something.
I love that for him.
Yeah. Like our relationship with food, like only we can control. Nobody else should be able to control it. And so I think that when you give them that like empowerment from a young age, that they are in charge of what they're putting in their body, they need to be in touch with how these things are making them feel. That's their responsibility now, you know?
And like, that's how you learn lessons, when like you really have the agency to make the decision. Like it reminded me of when we were at Benihana, and like he was 3 and I kept being like, this is hot, don't touch it. And like he didn't learn it until he was like, and like it burned himself, you know? And like maybe you don't learn that sugar can give you a stomachache until you eat an entire cake.
Right.
The other piece of that is like, we don't have to bring in food to the house that is awful for him. Like I won't bring in like super processed poison food or whatever. But anyway, it has been a breath of fresh air, and it's something I want to take into other realms. But like with the screen time, I'd want to hear about it from an expert, see if the same principles work.
I have been pretty lax with Sonny, with sugar, with chocolate, with food. Like I haven't really ever wanted to be like 3 more bites. It's not in my nature, not because I felt like I know more, but it's just not in my personality. And I think that sometimes that approach is good. But sometimes we do need your like, here's the plan, here's the structure, this is how it's going to go down. Like that's the yin and the yang of us.
Yin and the yang. Yin and the yang. Last night, he was like, can I have a Coke? And I was like, yeah.
We had a Coke?
No, it was at the party at the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And then I was like, there's also juice. And I was kind of joking. I was like, you want a green juice? And Andrew, our neighbor, was standing next to me. He was like, yeah, you want a green juice? And he was like, yeah, I'll have a green juice. And they just had a green juice instead of a Coke.
And then he drank the whole green juice and then asked for it. Like he wanted to drink the rest of it at dinner. I was like, I don't even really like that green juice.
Yeah.
Like, now I want to stock the fridge with that green juice.
Let's do it. Little West green juice. You can get it at Whole Foods. Should we wrap it up with the best thing we ate and our goals for next week?
Yeah, let's do it. The best thing I ate.
All right. Well, the best thing I ate was a squash blossom from Mother Wolf. Ooh. It was perfect. It was great.
I've had that there. It's so good.
The food there is really good. I don't think I'll be going back. I think it's too overpriced, and I don't really love the vibe. That's a review.
I'm with you.
Food is great, though. I would go there and just like eat a plate of pasta, but I don't want to go and like get upselled and like
upsold.
They
yeah.
upsold the out of us.
Ugh, yeah.
And it just left a bad taste in my mouth.
Okay.
But the other best thing that I ate was the chicken parm that we made. And I just wanted to get into that for a second because I have a tip that I think would be good. And it was actually a tip your sister Ashley gave me. We used like sliced mozzarella out of like the liquidy thing. And she was like, I actually think like shredded mozzarella might be better because it would have less moisture to take away from the crisp of the cutlet.
So just got like dry shredded mozzarella.
Yeah, like I think that you would put on pizza.
Yes.
And it would keep the crisp.
That makes sense.
She's very smart.
The best thing I ate was your brisket this week. You
Yeah,
made it exactly how I like it. I know that it probably wasn't the best thing that you ate because you have a different flavor profile that works for your
I like it. I do like it.
But it was so good.
Thank you.
It
makes
was
me happy.
really soft stewed brisket with braised brisket with potatoes, carrots, onions, and like this tomatoey Worcestershire ketchup-y thing that was just very nostalgic and hearty.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like ketchup. The ketchup melts into like this kind of sweet and tangy sauce.
I saw a tip actually. I follow this girl Pamela Salzman, who you would probably like. P-Salz on Instagram. She made her brisket a day in advance.
Yeah.
And then what she did was she separated the meat and the veggies. And the next day she like scooped the fat off the veggies and put all the veggie mixture into a food processor to become like a gravy.
Poured that over the meat.
She poured over the meat with a pasta and did like a pasta meat sauce thing.
Bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, just to give people the rundown on my brisket, brown it, season the meat, brown it, take it off, cook the veggies in the meat juice until they're translucent, then put the meat back in, beef stock, ketchup, Worcestershire.
All your seasonings.
And then simmered for 5-6 hours. Then I take the meat out, scoop out the vegetables, and then the most important part is when you have all that liquid, cook all that liquid down because that's where all the flavor is. The meat really actually wasn't cooked great and didn't have any flavor, but when you pour the gravy over it and then you have everything together, it's good.
Yeah, I always remember that with my mom's too. It was always like wanted all the stuff that came with it and like get a good healthy chunk of the tomatoey veggie.
Yeah, I
shit.
put it on a piece of toast. That was good. Next week, man. It's our anniversary next week.
I know.
8 years.
8 years. Doesn't feel that long.
No, in the grand scheme of our life together, we're in the first just little bit.
Yeah,
we're young.
I know. Like to think about people only being married for 8 years is like
you're
whatever.
Just starting.
Yeah,
nerds.
exactly. Like you're even celebrating.
Yeah, we are. I'm planning something.
I'm excited.
It'll be fun. My goal for next week is to fill up your bucket.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. It's about me?
It's about you.
Oh my God. Stop.
So that you can like work harder.
Yeah. Honestly, like that's
so we can be productive.
I'm like down for the task.
You just need some bucket filling.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
For you.
Just name a partner.
Yeah.
My goals are always so boring and like task oriented.
Lay it on us.
To plan out my free time in the morning and try to stick to it. Like I put chunks of free time within my calendar, but then I don't schedule anything with that free time. So I just want to actually schedule stuff and like make a list also of stuff in the city that I want to do and see that's not necessarily work related, but that could be work related.
Something that might inspire you creatively.
Yes.
Let's go to a show.
Museum.
What is that?
Like
what is the Xi'an or Xi'an? It's like China before communism. You've seen that like poster everywhere. Shen Yu. Yeah. Let's go see that.
Let's go see it.
Let's go see that and do a full review.
Great. I think I'll be really inspired.
This one?
Yeah.
You know this one?
All right. I love you.
I love you too. High five. Let's do a high five and a handhold.
How sweaty are my palms?
They're not.
I had to shake so many hands today, and I was really embarrassed by my sweaty palms.
You don't. Yeah, I would never think that you have sweaty palms. Mine are dry as shite.
Yeah, mine sound moist.
Let's get out of here.
Okay. Peace in the streets, y'all.